morning, everybody. How are you guys doing? Tonight's a little bit different than normal. Tonight, I am outside of Hilltonia, Georgia, looking at a little bit of corn, cotton, and peanuts. You got myself. Of course, you got Mr. Brent Adams. Brent, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, Nicole Zurcher. How are you doing in Nebraska? See, you did not blow away this week.
We did not, though you missed the rotation video.
I tried. Honestly, I tried. What you see behind me, I've been out here. I've been here since Monday. We've been scouting some crops. We've been looking at a little bit of cotton, a little bit of peanuts, whole lot of corn. While we're sitting here talking a little bit, we'll check and see what our moisture looks like on it. We've seen some really good corn. Of course, we've had a few, as you can see. Well, you'll see here in a second. We had, as every farm does, we were hoping to be live picking corn, but apparently the combine felt it the need to take a break. Just saying. You know, when they decide to sit down and park it, well, you know what happens. And as you can see, that's where the old girl sits right now. But how's everybody been doing? Brent, what have you been up to this week while I'm shelling a little corn and checking what we got here?
Well, I'll tell you what, just getting another show together here, episode 69, or excuse me, 68 of the podcast is going to be coming up here on Friday. And I had a chance to sit down this week and talk with Roy Johnson, who is with AHW, and they're a 16 dealership John Deere dealer out of East Central Illinois and West Central Indiana. And we talked about, how COVID-19 has affected the dealership and how they've had to change a little bit of what they do, and also how their website has been such a big boon for them here to kind of keep them going 24/7 here when things like this happen to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how bad has COVID affected them, Brent?
Well, I tell you what, they've been able to work around a whole lot of, as we've seen, the industry has been so resilient, and man, farming just doesn't slow down. So these guys, a lot of what they're doing, they've set up things like you can order your parts online. Then they put a parts counter right up front as you walk in the door. They put everything on a shelf, and you don't even have to look at a soul, talk to a soul, whatever. You just go and pick up your stuff and run. So they have managed brilliantly through it.
This corn is at 15.2. That's not bad. Yeah, as you can tell, well, that's where Benji found. They left here a few minutes ago. They lost. They had a chain come off. That's just that's how it goes. And well, I'm gonna tell you what though, we've seen some really good looking peanuts this week. Dan Morgan down in Newington, Georgia's got some really good looking peanuts. Ryan Brannon's got some decent, really good looking peanuts. We've looked at some really good cotton, for example. Mid-season cotton, this doesn't look bad. I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but it's not bad. This is fully loaded up. Still got some blooms coming. It's not a bad time this year. Brent, what else did you when you were talking to John Deere? I know they were saying their website was doing good. Were there any other COVID changes that they had made?
Well, I tell you what, the big thing is, like everybody else, safety precautions, just putting up some partitions and everything to keep everybody safe. A lot of that, like I said, the online ordering, I think that was a big thing, and then we moved away from AHW, and I brought on Laurel Case, who's the marketing manager for John Deere's North American Agriculture Group. They're based out of Olathe, Kansas. And we talked about how the manufacturer really had to pivot from doing all these fall farm shows into doing the virtual farm shows, and just all the work that's going on behind the scenes to adapt to each one of those, because it seems like, and I don't know about you, but over the last couple of weeks, I've just been inundated with everybody and their uncle now starting an online farm show or field demos or what have you. And so everybody now is kind of scrambling to get a piece of that action. And John Deere has really had to adapt. They've had to send film crews out to shoot field demos and product demos and everything else. And now they're just trying to see what all this is going to look like. One of the first big tests is going to come up here, in a couple of weeks with the Virtual Farm Progress Show. And then we've got just 3 or 4 more of these big shows, Farm Science Review in Ohio, and I've seen 2 or 3 more that are just are looking for content. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that shakes out. And there's a lot of moving pieces on John Deere's end, and made a little more tricky by the fact that everybody else is still working from home. So they're all in separate places trying to put all this stuff together, but they feel like they've got a really good plan in place. And, my big question to them is, okay, this is for the fall shows, but they're involved in the Consumer Electronics Show, and that's the first week in January. So now you flip that calendar over to 21, and then we got to start asking about shows like the National Farm Machinery Show and Commodity Classic and the Farm Bureau Federation Convention and some of these things. And everything's still wait and see right now, but they feel like they've got a really good plan in place here if they have to do more of these virtual shows over the next few months.
And that's, everybody's having to adapt. I know Sunbelt Ag Expo had their field day, which is normally a field day, a very fun field day, and they actually did a very good job. 2 weeks I guess it was 2 weeks ago with theirs. It was a virtual drive-through field day, and it was an absolute terrific job. That
one's a pleasure for me, man, because I love that show.
Oh, that's an awesome show. Chip Blaylock and the whole gang, they do an absolute terrific job down there with that show.
It's that one this year, and
I was hoping we'd have this year again, but when they suspended plans the other day, well, it was just to be expected.
Yeah.
Well, guys, as y'all can see, the sun's almost down on me, and I'm afraid Sasquatch might kidnap me. Oh, he'll give me back. They'll give me back shortly. But
I think Sasquatch should be scared of you, Brannon.
Huh?
I didn't think there was any real threat there.
Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, we've looked at some really good peanuts this week. We looked at some peanuts that down here that had the first time had calcium and boron put on them at the same time together, and they were absolutely great peanuts. They looked absolutely great. Cotton the same way. So the crops in this area of Georgia, yes, it's been dry. Yes, they need rain, but they don't look bad.
Yeah. So for folks who aren't in the know and are in other parts of the country, provided the weather holds up, what are you guys looking at in terms of a harvest window for peanuts and for cotton? Cotton
will be October, last of September, first of October. Peanuts will be about the same time. And peanuts will be September, and then cotton will be October. Now, when you get farther north like us, we're the middle of October, the 1st of November on our cotton. We don't have peanuts, but we'll be there with our cotton about that time. Our corn is still 5 weeks away, 4 to 5 weeks away. Our corn in Rockmart, this corn here is ready to go. So you're talking a 2 hour difference, 3 hour difference in driving, and you're talking 5 weeks difference in the corn.
Is that climate, or is that a difference in the seed, or?
It's climate and when they got it put in the ground. They had better weather than we did for a while. They had rain and wet weather, but they still had a window that a lot of people got put in 2 months before we did.
Yeah. All of our corn here in Nebraska is, long. We're quite a ways away. It's pretty green, and it's nowhere near ready unless you're going to be chopping for silage or something. So
we did see some I saw some guys chopping silage the other day on my way down here, a little farther north than here, and they're the guys here have already chopped. We chopped our silage months ago in Rockmont, but I was surprised that I saw a dairy doing it on the way down. But yeah, it is. Crops are progressing quite well. It is dry. Your irrigated crops look much better, much better. But you still got good. Even dry land looks good. That dry land peanuts are a little farther behind, not as far ahead, but they're still looking good. They don't look bad. Not a lot of yellowing. When I was in Southwest Georgia a couple weeks ago, I saw a lot of yellowing peanuts. That was just it was heartbreaking to see some of the conditions that I saw. It's not near as bad here right now.
Now, Brandon, we have a comment from Mel Olson. They're saying, do you think this year's corn mazes will be okay?
Yeah, I think so. I think they will. Hi, Mel.
She was excited to watch. She was commenting before the show even started. So glad to have her.
Yes, Mel, how are you doing? But yeah, like I say, we're out here. We're in Hiltonia, we're northwest of Hiltonia, Georgia. And like I said, I was lucky to get any cell signal here. We were hoping to be live and picking corn by now, but there was technical issues, and well, that happens with every farm. So, by the way, did RJ ever get the old 35 running?
Not yet. No, he was helping my dad fix the combine. They had this big, huge bolt that wouldn't come off, and they had to heat it up, and they put this giant wrench, just like 3-foot wrench on it. And my dad, who is not a tiny guy, jumped on there and was hanging from it, all 300 and something pounds of him. And they finally got it to turn. So they're fixing stuff. So.
Hey, I know exactly how that is, and that's what we were doing. We did it most of the morning, and then I came on to look at a couple of things. We came to look at a couple of fields. Met the combine here at this field, and he got, one pass. One lovely pass. And she went.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just all farmers can relate to this. You get one strip and then you're done.
I guess she figured the trip up here was enough for her day's work, so she was going to just say, all right, that's it, we're done, see you later. Because, guess what? She's taking a nap.
I'd have to say because she's red, but you know what? Our gray combine does about the same thing.
Hold on. Look at the header.
Oh, green head.
She's a biracial combine. Anyway, so, guys, I'm going to have to get out of here because I'm losing light, and I got to get everything broke down and put back in my truck and head another 50 miles south of here. But, Brent, call me tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow. And, y'all, we have a very special guest that will be with me on Friday and Saturday. Now, Friday and Saturday, we're going to have a special driver of the tobacco bus hauling tobacco out of the field, an unnamed person. We're going to have one that might be on a combine, and I'm sure he'll be having fun. And then we're going to make a few lives from a few other places, and we're going to shoot some video. But let's all plan on coming together Friday afternoon and have some fun. Brent, I know your Fridays are usually pretty busy, but we're going to have some fun Friday night.
We'll make it work.
And you never know who will be with me.
I will have to say I won't be able to be in here Friday night because we actually in Indiana are having high school football, and this will be another season of calling high school football games on WOCC radio in Corden, Indiana, just outside of Louisville. So for the past now 3 seasons. I've been the voice of the Harrison County Game of the Week in Southern Indiana. So I'll be calling high school football, God willing, come Friday night here. So,
And the weather's going to be pretty good up there, isn't it, Brent?
Yeah, I tell you what, I was just out to run a couple errands a few minutes ago, and it was 78 degrees, low humidity. I mean, it felt like those first few days that tease you to give you fall fever before you get a couple more smacks, really hot, muggy weather before the fall actually really gets here. So, man, it was nice today, just beautiful. So if it holds up like that Friday night, which it did this time last year, it's kind of funny. It felt like about the 5th or 6th game of the season for the first game, and then it got progressively hotter for about the next 4 weeks before it finally leveled off here. So I don't know. Kentucky and Indiana, high school football is a go in Kentucky. Here, Jason tells us that they're supposed to meet tomorrow to decide what they're going to do. Illinois has already pushed their season to the spring. So really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. Man, pray for it. We got another 48 hours here, and man, it's my time of the year. This is when I shift into a different gear here, and I'm looking forward to that. So we'll catch you one way or another. I'll try to drop in for a few minutes in the afternoon here, and we'll catch you on the weekend, though.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have some fun now. Saturday will not be farm-related, but it will be fun. And we will be live for part of Saturday, and if we get arrested, Nicole, you will have to help us.
Oh, Lord, help us.
I'm glad he said you.
Hey, you're a shorter drive than I am.
Because as you know, you cannot put a bunch of farmers together in a place that has a lot of fun and not get in trouble.
We might have to put Western Union on standby here.
I got dirty today. What's wrong with that picture? Seriously, look.
I'm sure everybody wants to know really quickly, how's the health doing?
I'm good. I'm
good.
For the most part, I'm healed up. My incisions are good. I'm not overdoing it yet.
As you say, from in the field.
Yeah.
I'm not overdoing it. I did get on the pipe wrench today a little harder than I should have, but I stopped when I was ahead.
There you go.
That's good.
But I'm doing better. I feel better. I haven't had much pain.
Good.
I had a little bit of pain driving down here the other day, and my doctor says, well, guess what? You got organs that were shifted around, so they're going to start dropping back into place.
Boom.
So I guess I need to start jumping up and down, and maybe they'll all fall into place.
Yeah, hurry them along.
You need to do some goat yoga. I would love to see that live. Okay, if anybody wants to see Brandon do goat yoga, comment and like this video because that would be awesome.
Do not comment. No, there.
Hey, can we get Daryl and Charles? Can they do goat yoga too?
All right, here's the thing. If Daryl, we might be able to do that. We might be able to do that. We might be able to, we could get all of our guests this weekend to do goat yoga.
Yes, Tanya agrees. Goat yoga. Let's do this. Mel says that she has goats you can borrow. And Megan McDowell says, oh, yes, please.
Really?
I think we can make it happen.
I think we can make it happen.
And by me, I mean you, because I'll just produce the show since, I'm not in the place with the goats. So
I love each and every one of y'all so well. I really do. And the production team, yeah, I'm talking to you two over there. And you. No. Good. I'm glad you can't comment. Thank you. Well, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I've got to get everything packed up and get ready to set up tomorrow in a different location and try to have a little fun with it. But, guys, we're fixing to hit that time of year, and for those of you watching on Farm Life the page and not the group, remember when you're out here on the road and you see that right there. Number one, it can't see you behind it. And number two, it's a little wider than the lane of the road you're in. So don't get stupid around. Especially not like the one that did Daryl the other day. But that's a different story. I can't believe I got dirty though. I have stayed clean. Oh no, I didn't. I got dirty this morning. What? By the way, who all is watching right now?
I can't see who's viewing.
How many numbers?
Comments?
Numbers.
Oh, we got 11. It's bouncing around 11 to 15 on and off.
All right, wherever you're from, whoever you are, post in the comments so we know where you are and who you are, and well, we know why you are. But yeah. In the meantime, the street lights at the little. This is a neat little place here. Look at this. I'm going to show you something.
Oh
Look.
Lord, we're losing you now.
Seriously?
That's a good angle. Kind of like a turtle.
There is a neat little cabin here, y'all. We're seriously out in the middle of the woods, and there's a neat little cabin here. It's a great place to film. It was a great place we were going to have. Uh-oh. Y'all be careful. I don't know what Daryl and Charles have been doing while I've been gone, but I've been seeing posts pop up all day from Daryl and Charles. There is no telling. It's not my fault. I'm not home to account for it. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here. You two continue having a great night. Brent, it was great talking to you, my friend.
Same.
Nicole.
Looking forward to talking to you tomorrow.
Yep. Nicole, you have a great night, dear. I'm going to get off of here. Well, I love the sound of the animals, the crickets, and the dogs 5 miles away.
The Sasquatch behind you.
Where? What? Come here. Wouldn't you? Now you would have a stroke if something run around that combine right there, wouldn't you?
Oh man, I should have talked to Daryl. He could have like popped out behind the combine. That would have been funny.
But Daryl's not here.
Charles or whoever's with you. That other person.
Ha ha ha. No. No.
All right. Well, we'll see ya.
See y'all later. Y'all have a great night.
Bye.
What can you say?
Oh, Brannon. So tell us what you have coming up this week.
Yeah, again, we've got the podcast episode number 67 out. Our talk about everything John Deere here and what they're doing for the fall. Then we bring our buddy Ray Bohacks, the hot rod farmer, back on for his second installment of Bushels and Cents, where he kind of imparts a little bit of knowledge here on some of the mechanical end of farm equipment. And it's very interesting how he does it. Rather than just equating it to, a repair is going to cost $4,000. He says it's going to cost you X number of bushels of corn at X per bushel. So he puts it in real terms that make you think about the importance of having to maintain all your equipment and keep it in tip-top shape. And he's a corn farmer himself, so he understands all that. And he's got a long background in automotive engineering and farm equipment engineering, and has contributed to a bunch of different agricultural publications over the years here. So he's a fascinating guy. It's a short segment, just a couple minutes that we're going to do every single week on the show, and gets a chance to get his content out in front of our audience and kind of trade content a little bit. Just a good guy I've enjoyed. I know he may even be on here. I know he's in the middle of his harvest right now, but he checks in here quite frequently. So we'll get old Ray on here, and then we have the country music legend John Barry, who was on the live stream a couple weeks ago. We've got our conversation with him on the podcast this week. Yeah, just a great guy. I had never interviewed him before, so I didn't know really what to expect going into it, and we talked for almost an hour and a half. We'll cut it a bit down for the podcast, but just a incredible guy, kind and generous with his time, and he's done so much. And he went through that battle with cancer here about a year ago, and it was really neat to see how the country music community came together to support him and help him through some really tough times. And he's cancer free right now, and just got a lot of new projects in the works. A podcast with his wife dealing with music and faith and everything else. And he's also doing a children's project, a la some of the old Tom T. Hall type projects where he tries to use music and story to connect with kids. He's got that going on his Facebook and his YouTube channel every week. So we've got all that on the podcast this week. So I'm just tying all that stuff up and getting that in the radio show together. And then we've got another live stream tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, Taylor Hope. And that's one I'm really looking forward to. She is 16 years old, and she's one of these voices that's way mature beyond her age. She's out of North Carolina, and was found by a guy who used to produce Dolly Parton, and really thought the world of her. And she's written with some real heavyweights in Nashville, including Bridget Tatum, who wrote He's Country for Jason Aldean. And she's been on stage with T.G. Shepherd and with Dolly Parton and Vince Gill and a bunch of others. So she's got some real cred already at 16 years old. And you wouldn't know it by listening to her, because she sounds like she's probably 25 or 30. Just that real mature voice. I mean, it's something, to come in and have Nashville welcome you. For somebody that young, you don't see it that often. I mean, you saw it with like Tanya Tucker and Leanne Rimes and maybe more recently like Hunter Hayes or somebody. But to get that kind of cred it's pretty incredible, and she has done just a masterful job with it. So I can't wait for everybody to hear that music tomorrow and hear her story, because it's really neat. So that's the big things I'm working on for this week here, and trying to pull some stuff together for next week. We've got next week Kurt Blades, who is the vice president of the Association of Equipment Manufacturers, is going to be on there talking about what farm equipment sales have looked like here through the first 7.5 months of the new year. And we just saw some July figures that AEM put out the other day, and they're holding their own, man. I mean, equipment sales are still trucking. So it's interesting to see that despite all this, I mean, as we've said, farms got to keep on moving. Equipment breaks. Equipment is replaced on a time schedule on a lot of farms, and now's the time a lot of folks are doing it, and it's still cooking right now. So
that's great.
I can't wait to talk with him about some of that stuff. It's been a while since I've had a chance to catch up with him. So that'll be next Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern time. We'll sit down and talk with him for about 30 minutes. And we're just kind of ramping up these ag live streams that we're doing. We're going to start doing more of those here in the future. And a lot of times, people are busy during the afternoons, especially now that harvest season's here. But they're all archived on our Facebook page, on the Fastline page, and on the Fastline Fast Track page. So people can go back and look at those at their leisure. And, we did one a couple weeks ago with Rob LaRue of the National Farmers Union. And we did one with Christy Meyer last week of the National FFA organization, talking about how, they are adapting to this new school year here in the times of COVID, which is vastly different. It seems like everywhere you go. So, they're trying to provide guidance wherever they can, and trying to plan, like everybody else, a virtual national convention here. And just very, very interesting times right now.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I got two mics going right now. Hang on one second.
Ooh.
Sorry about that.
Coming
Okay.
in hot.
Sorry about that. Okay. Oh my gosh. Now I got a loop going. 1 minute. Oh my gosh. Now I got a loop going. 1 minute.
The joys of live streaming.
Okay.
You down to just
Sorry.
one?
Okay.
Now?
I'm going to actually head outside right now. And I got to get my shoes on. Okay. Now you can't hear my other computer.
There we
So
go.
I'm at my mom's house right now here in Nebraska. And we are, oh, they already did it. Darn it. Oh, well, I can show the hoof at least. So we have a horse out here that has thrush, where it's a separation of the hoof, like a bacterial infection. And so my goal was to do this live where we were treating it to show everybody, but Brandon chatted too long about Sasquatches and corn. So
And the horse
just
said,
go over
hurry up
here.
already, right?
Yeah, basically. So I wonder if I can switch my camera around on my phone. I don't normally do lives from my phone. But this is our little pony here. Mom, did you give him a name yet?
Mac.
Mac. His name is Mac, which is kind of cruel and funny because this pony actually came out of a kill lot, and he is the sweetest, like kid's horse. And RJ was calling him Big Mac. So, see, hang on 1 second. Whoops. See if I can flip this around. She isn't giving me the option. Oh. Do you see? Here's frog. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, horses don't cooperate sometimes. So the separation of the hoof that can cause a horse to founder, right, Mom? He'll just go lame and he can die from the infection. But what you have to do is kind of interesting. The farrier told us that you use this medication for mastitis for cattle, and you squirt it in between the crack, and it kind of helps get all of the dirt and stuff and infection out of there so that it can heal from the inside. And then there's a medicine for thrush that you put around the frog for the thrush buster, which is hard to say. And you put that around there, and after about a week or so, it starts healing up pretty good. But that's what we have going on here in Nebraska. And RJ, okay, you can come and talk about it. Most of you know my husband RJ. He's known as the selfie king.
Pretty much.
He takes all the animal selfies on our farm. What do you have going on lately?
We were getting ready to. We've been shredding all the old foxtail down and getting ready to drill more oats for oat hay, and then also with that we're getting the ground ready for winter rye for hay for our cattle, and then early spring forage for the cattle and our horse. And we still have some pigs. Always have pigs. So that's about it.
All right. Brent, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I think that covers everything I've got going on this end here. Just would love for everybody to come check us out at the Fastline Fast Track Facebook page, and also Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and we also and go check out that podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio. Again, we're up to episode 68 as of this coming Friday. So if you haven't had a chance to go back and dig through some of those back catalog issues, I would love for you to go back and listen to those, and we'll keep cranking them out every week.
Yeah, you guys do a great job over there. I also would like to give a shout out to the United We Ag podcast.
Yeah.
They were live yesterday on Farm Life with their guest, and I can't remember her name right now. If I was next to my computer, I'd have it, but she did a great podcast on homeschooling and farming during COVID, and she has a really interesting story. So you guys can go check that back out. It's on our page.
Neat little farm too.
Yeah, she has a neat little farm.
Oh, interesting.
And then also shout out for Concept Agritech. They've been helping us a lot, and we have a lot of stuff coming up in the works with them. And also Gateway Seed, which is now owned by Concept Agritech. And then of course, thank you so much, Brent from Fastline Fast Track, for joining us again tonight. We're going to cut it a little bit short. You know, everybody's gearing up for harvest, and we're all busy, and school just started, thank God. And so everything's getting a little crazy, but we're glad to be here.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
just to circle back really quickly, you were talking about the United We Ag podcast with Derek. Kate Bowen of Meadowvale Farm in Putney, Vermont, who was on there last night. So if you get a chance, go and check out his live stream and his podcast. He's doing a great job. So and we're just trying to get together a group of people who really have a passion for this stuff and are great content creators, and bring them all together to just great content that's going to appeal to everybody, bring an educational component, and have some fun along the way as well.
Yep, that's the goal. We have a lot of things in the works, so. Well, I'm going to see how badly I have with my phone coming back near my computer again, see if it's going to cause lots of problems. So if you'll just hang on there for a second, Brent, I'm going to shut my phone live off and go back to my computer to end the show, okay?
Will do. Excellent. So thank you again to everybody who was here tonight to check this out. I hope you come back again each Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock Central. I know it gets busy here as we get into harvest season, but these are all archived here on the Farm Life pages, so you can go back and check them out anytime here. And make sure you tell your friends about it. If they're not plugged into Farm Life, make sure you're telling them about the group and about the page here. This thing has grown by leaps and bounds. I think Brandon was telling me the other day it grew by about 11,000 followers in the last month or so. So growing just exponentially here, and we're excited about that. And we hope to just keep telling other people and engage with the content. Get on there and share and like and let's keep this thing building.
All right. Yes. I'm so excited for all the growth that we've been having too. It's just been kind of unreal for me. So, all right. Well, I'm going to shut everything off here. I have some whiny kids now that are coming into the house and complaining in the background. So I got to go take care of them, and it's a school night. So we got to get them back to our house and get ready for bed. Excellent. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll be live again next week at 7 Central, 8 Eastern time. And we hope to see you then.
Have a good night.
Night.